We're a company, we've been going for around 3 years now, and our focus is last mile logistics. And today what I want to talk to you about is what I've talking about Tetris of integrated logistics, and that will make more sense as we go along. So Amazon, they're really taking the industry by storm. They're doing crazy things to change consumer expectations. All you have to do right now is walk along High Street Kensington to see the front of Whole Foods, like it is up there, is now an Amazon storefront. They've managed to completely redefine what customers expect. They expect convenience, they expect on-demand, they expect same day. And we can actually see some of the stats up here that we've looked at. 72% of shoppers would buy more items with same-day delivery. 78% would switch retailers for same-day delivery. And the problem with this is that the logistics industry is kind of behind the curve. Conventional logistics, you see 50% of that cost is normally levied in the last mile. And 28% of HGVs are running empty across the supply chain, which is in no way efficient. And retail is also undergoing a huge transformation. We're seeing online sales growth of 41%, in-store sales growth of 19%. And I was recently at a Retail Week breakfast, and they were putting some stats out there that when a store opens, the online sales within the perimeter go up by quite a huge amount. And this is because of the change in consumer behavior. There's a lot more omni-channel activity. So people will go into a store, they'll look around, and then they'll go home and order it online. So really, in order to sort of get on board with this consumer proposition, you need a few things. So the first one, I'm sure most of the people in this room already have an online presence of some sort, whether it's through a store, a native app, or whether it's through a web proposition, whether it's through Shopify or Magento. Most people now have an e-commerce presence, but the problem is most of these e-commerce presence are geared around conventional logistics, shipping from a warehouse outside the city, and consumers are now demanding same-day delivery. So in order to satisfy that, you need something new. I mean, for certain people have same day, but typically it's still going to be outside from a big warehouse or on the edge of the city, and then coming in and doing this big long route. And that's good, but it means that customers aren't getting what they need, which is the convenience. You know, if they have to wait in for 4 hours or a full day for it, that's really not going to fly for much longer. So we're seeing that more integrations are going to have to happen. There's a lot of companies around that are now starting to be platforms to allow integration of logistics. There's a company in the US called Bring. There's a company in Australia called Yogi. We're doing some stuff here, and Stuart also doing B2B deliveries. And so we sort of thought, what is this that's happening? And it's logistics as a service. So everybody knows about SaaS, platform as a service, even infrastructure as a service. The difference with logistics as a service is it bridges the digital and the physical world. So where you may have a business that has an inventory solution, they might have e-commerce, and they might send orders away to UPS. What we're trying to do here is at every point of that journey, bridge the physical and the digital world. This could be something like micro-warehousing. So typically, if you're having to keep stock outside the city, that's not efficient to get to the consumer in a quick way. So we're talking about forward deploying into micro warehousing. Now, this could be your shopfront. It could be there's a company called Parcelli and Collect Plus, where they actually have redundant space around the city where you can forward deploy your inventory, so it's closer to the consumer and therefore easy to fulfill in a last mile sort of on-demand solution. So to be successful, these kind of last companies, we feel that there's a few key things that are required. So first of all, a consultative approach. And we find that every business operates slightly differently in terms of supply chain and logistics. You can't just build a platform and say, okay, hey business, integrate with this, and away you go. There's lots of different things that are taken care of by the business or are outsourced. So you could have an inventory solution that is off the shelf in one company and an in-house inventory solution elsewhere. And the last provider may need to integrate with that. And that's where the whole idea of Tetris comes in. So what we're doing at QuickUp, and I know that a lot of the other companies that we're talking about as well, is we have modules of tech which can be switched on or off depending on what's required of the company, the business journey. And this could be something like store picking. So you might want to activate a store picking solution so that when your customer places an order on the website, it goes directly into a store, maybe a phone on the checkout, and they say, oh, can you pick this and tell us how long it's going to take in order for a driver to come and collect it and hand off. And the key thing here is it's completely disruptive to conventional logistics with warehouse operations. And the very important thing is consumer-led. A lot of companies don't realize how much the consumer is now empowered for same day, for demanding, putting pressure on the companies, on the retailers. So the expectation is I can have it when I want, I can have it right now, I can have it tomorrow, I get instant gratification, I can track the order all the way through. All these kind of things are becoming standard. And so when consumers don't get that, they're going to favor another solution. So just give you an idea what it looks like a typical LAS integration. So a customer could place an order, and this could be, as I said, through Shopify, Magento, white label app, their own facility. And then it would pass that order into a LAS solution. And then there's algorithms and matching things that happen there to decide, okay, how do we want to progress this order? Which fleet should we give it to? Which driver? You can have all sorts of configuration here. So you might be optimized for a wide window and a cheap cost, or a small window and the cost is more. All these kind of things can be configured on a LAS platform. In this example, we've got a picking solution. In a few slides, I'll give you an idea of what that could look like, and then a driver delivery. So in terms of the step one, this is the online or native app omni-channel activity. We've just got an example there of a white label app, and this is the kind of thing that a LAS provider will be wanting to give you. So if you don't have e-commerce, if you don't have a digital channel to be able to sell through, a LAS provider might be able to say, hey, we can switch this on for you, and it removes all of that from you having to do it, and you can focus on what the business does. Then typically you would have something like a management platform to be able to see what's going on with these orders, track them in real time as a business. So it isn't just thrown into another platform and then you don't know what's going on with it. You're able to actually track and see what's happening with those orders. And as I mentioned with the store picking solution, this is another thing that a LAS provider will be able to activate for you. And in this example here, it's a grocery solution. And in the first screen, it's actually a sequenced order, which tells them which order to go through the store. This is one configuration. And barcode scanning, substitutions, all of these kind of things should be able to be switched on and off the configuration of a LAS platform. And then we've just got a few different kinds of delivery listed here. On demand is within 2 hours, within an hour. Same day could be like time slots, and those time slots could range in size and frequency. And at your convenience is a really interesting one we've been playing with, which is we inform you that there is a package ready, and you just say, I'm ready when you want it bringing, and it arrives within half an hour to an hour. So basically it's primed, ready to go to the consumer, and the consumer says, I'm ready for it now, and it comes to them. So super, super convenient. So, I mean, all these things are kind of, we and other LAS providers are trying to be prime now for everyone. So we're trying to stop Amazon from taking the whole market and allowing you guys to have tools to be able to compete or at least be on the same playing field. So just to summarize, LAS can give you things like leverage real estate, so it can optimize your real estate. Instead of having everything in one warehouse that's then just deployed in big trucks throughout the day, you can forward deploy to micro warehousing, which could be Parcelli, your own stores, Collect Plus, many different options there. And that helps you to expand your customer reach. You get improved stock optimization because you're no longer having to maintain stock in a warehouse and in the stores. You can just maintain it in the stores or the micro warehouses, and that's where both your in-store and online will get their stock from. So it becomes more efficient. And this is a big one. I mean, a lot of businesses now are having to become logistics business. They might not have started that way, but because of the way consumers expect things to arrive, logistics is becoming a heavy part of every business. So with Alas, you're able to leave that to somebody else. Let the logistics people be experts at logistics, while you can be professional and experts at your business. And then, of course, the things below are faster deliveries. These are all to meet consumer expectations. And when your customer is getting what they need and their convenience is satisfied, they're happy. So the people are always on the go, and Last solutions allow retailers to keep up and create future-proof models that will drive sustainable growth. Thank you.